Many pioneers are still battling to finish their KYC, and some haven't yet started. But according to the recently published Pi Network white paper, anyone who haven't completed their KYC will have their accounts terminated and their hard-earned money lost. Pi Network coin will be burned, which won't be good for most pioneers because nobody wants this to happen to them. But if a pioneer wants to avoid falling into this category, he or she must complete their KYC so that the core team can transfer them to Mainnet. If you haven't gotten a KYC slot yet, we have good news for you because the Pi Network will soon release a significant KYC slot. Please allow me to say that it takes time and hard work in conducting research and bring this to you, and the least you can do to help our channel to grow is simply by liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and let's get back to the video. This also suggests that the Pi will have its own value and a sizable competitive advantage when it enters the cryptocurrency market. So if you haven't finished your KYC yet, please do so as soon as you can so that the core team will transfer you when Mainnet is live. Why is it absolutely necessary to finish the KYC before entering the Mainnet? What does the Know Your Customer check help me with or protect me from? In a recent revelation, Dr. Nicholas Kokalis offered important information on the KYC. The validation team is responsible for establishing whether or not a person is who they say they are. Eventually, they will be able to tell real records from phony ones. The Pi Network follows a strict policy of assigning a single record to each individual in order to ensure the genuineness of the organization's interactions with its customers. We have reason to believe that the Pi core team has never sold any KYC information and does not intend to do that. This will prevent the creation of fraudulent accounts, actually a great number of them. If you are one of the 100,000 people chosen, information will be triggered within the app in the form of a pop-up message and profile. Additionally, the time limit for authenticating yourself is only 24 hours, after which you won't have the chance to do it again. However, there is absolutely no cause for alarm. Pi Network processes the Know Your Customer KYC certification after having entrusted it to a certifying authority in the UK. The Know Your Customer procedure will be implemented in the future for all of the users who are still active. According to the Pi core team, the majority of customers have yet to receive KYC verification instructions. Don't worry. You will have completed your KYC prior to the launch of Mainnet, and if you don't, well, let's just say that's a bad sign. However, some pioneers will only lose a quarter of their standard mining rate, which is the rate at which they earned money, which is the coin while they were mining. This will be returned. The Pi core team has stated that it will give every pioneer the chance to get their KYC and account confirmed. When will the Pi cryptocurrency have value, or when will it be worth something because it has not yet been implemented onto the blockchain? The Pi Network coin is currently on hold and has no value even though some pioneers have started trading it. We have reached the KYC stage in which a sizable number of people are prepared for the Pi main. The developers of Pi Network announced that the confined network period will give pioneers the opportunity to complete KYC verification, make changes to the mainnet, and add more applications. The developers also stated that currencies that can be mined on the confined mainnet, which are currently preserved within the ecosystem, will be preserved during this time. The only thing they said was that the closed network time is consistent with Pi's idea of a utility-based ecosystem and its iterative process, but they made no reference of a time frame for when the network will open. Although the price of Pi coin has not yet been set, some cryptocurrency analysts and websites that rely on algorithms have already tried to predict its price. At the current mining rate of roughly 0.1 Pi per hour, each user would mine approximately 2.4 Pi per day, resulting in a daily addition of 87.1 million Pi coin to the ecosystem as a whole. We can estimate that there are roughly 200 to 300 billion Pi coins in circulation. Pi has a supply of 250 trillion, thus for it to be worth $100, its market capitalization would have to be $30 billion. Keep an eye out for your KYC slot to become a full pioneer before the mainnet launches. Additionally, the Pi Network core team is developing an application for the KYC verification process in order to accommodate more and more people and speed up the process. Pi accounts lacking KYC will not be allowed to reach the mainnet phase. If you do not complete your KYC, your Pi coin may be destroyed. Currently, there are about 40 million users of Pi, compared to about the same number of unique addresses and market value of $75 billion in May 2018 for Ethereum. With a market valuation of $25 billion, our Pi coin price estimate places the token at a more conservative 100. This is due to the Pi network currency's potential price reaching 10 cents and its $25 billion market worth. In this case, if selling pressure prevailed over buying demand, the Pi network currency's market value would be $25 billion. The Pi network aims to create a decentralized network of Bitcoin smart contracts that will allow people to design apps that can be utilized within the Pi network. Let's take a look at what the coin would look like in 2023, shall we? Although it is highly unlikely that the ecosystem would reach its full potential for at least a few years after the relaunch, Pi miners will be responsible for acting as validators when we go back to the year after that. We anticipate that the Pi mainnet will have been published, and as a result any significant selling pressure will have dissipated. This would be a great time to start developing the very first applications based on the Raspberry Pi. Even if you haven't received any notification that your Pi KYC needs to be finished, you can still download the Pi browser and get started right away. Make sure the information you input matches the data you entered when you first signed up for the service. If you are unable to proceed past the KYC stage, make sure the application is open during the entire process. You won't have to wait long before a validator is assigned to you. I am convinced that the Pitcore team is working to find a solution. Human verifiers will be given a redacted copy of your identification. This means they will look at your photo and be able to clearly see your identify in general to make sure we're talking about the same individual. There are some users who have not yet received instructions for KYC verification. Verifiers will then determine whether or not your personal identity is of the same sort as you stated in the information structure and whether or not the person portrayed in your identification is truly you. Someone inquired about what would happen if he did not complete KYC in the Pi network, which was one of the comments that I received. Pi accounts that do not have KYC will not be able to enter the mainnet phase, which means that your Pi may be destroyed. As I mentioned earlier, we recently announced about this. If you missed the opportunity to earn certification this time around, there will undoubtedly be another one in the near future. It is still impossible for investors to trade Pi coins as of the 16th of January, 2023. Mining the coin is something you may become involved in if you believe the project will be successful and will result in the creation of an approachable cryptocurrency that does not price out average consumers. You also have the option of delaying your purchase until you can make it via an online exchange. The choice as to whether or not the Pi coin would be a good addition to your financial portfolio is one that can only be made by you. Always make sure to conduct your own independent research, and avoid investing any money that you cannot afford to lose. No Pi coins were in circulation on January 16, 2023. When they hit the market, your risk tolerance, portfolio size and goals, and stock market experience should guide your investment in Pi coin and the Pi network. Research a cryptocurrency to see if it's right for you. Remember that cryptocurrency markets are volatile and past performance do not guarantee future gains. Never trade or invest money you cannot afford to lose. You may have seen that Pi is listed on a few cryptocurrency exchanges and that its price has skyrocketed to over $300. Recently, Pi network has encountered some controversies. Please be aware that the mainnet has not yet been deployed and that the price indicated below for some exchanges only represents the value of Pi and may not be transferable between exchanges. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and see you in the next one.